is not our first meeting, and so it's sort of comparing notes about progress, about commitment to democracy, about what's happening in the region. We talked a little bit about Armenia, for example, and the results of the Armenian election and what they might mean. We talked about Georgia being maybe a model and a mentor for countries like Armenia that want to move clearly in a democratic way. We talked about strengthening institutions. We talked about what's happening here. We talked about also our hope that the House Democracy Project, which is a group of us here in Congress committed to working with our parliamentary counterparts in other parts of the world who are committed to democratic institution building, that maybe we could make another visit to Georgia, we hope, in the spring. Well, in looking at some other parts of Europe, I think we all observed that democracy can be both robust and fragile. And that if there isn't a fundamental core commitment to sticking with democracy, it can slide, it can deteriorate. And we've seen that in some other parts of Europe. And so we were talking about, well, what do we have to do to make sure that does not happen, certainly in a place like Georgia. And it was very heartening to hear, a commitment by my counterparts in the Georgia Parliament that they understand that they understand that respecting the opposition and respecting the results of elections really are the pillars of how we build democratic institutions and respect for democratic outcomes, even when we don't like them. I reintroduced that bill to show our support, Congress's support for Georgia, for the Georgian people, and for this democratic process. My hope is we'll be able to get it through this new Congress.